Welcome. This video will teach you how to get started on your digital story with the storyboarding process. Before you can begin the storyboarding process, you will need a good script, also known as a reflection. As mentioned in Module 1, do not underestimate the importance of having a good story. Reflection prompts will vary by course, but students should keep in mind the following questions while writing their reflection. Students often overlook or dismiss the importance of knowing your audience. Keep in mind that we are making a YouTube video, and while we aren't recommending that you make it publicly available, consider who you might share this with and why. Be sure to think about how you are making meaning of your experiences. In addition, supporting your claims of learning is just as important as stating facts or pulling ideas from a journal article in a research paper you might write. Just because it is a reflection and is about your personal claims of learning, you can still support these claims by using concrete examples. For example, I could say, I like statistics and I'm good at it. But I need to be more specific. So I could revise my statement by saying, I like statistics and I'm good at it because I took a course in statistical analysis with Professor Smith. Now I can explain variance. What's most important, however, is that I can communicate what I know, but also what I don't know. With this in mind, I would then say, while my statistics course taught me how linear regressions can be used to explain variance, now I need to learn about ANOVAs and other statistical methods that enable me to predict cause and effect because linear regressions do not do that. After the reflection is written, students will proceed to the storyboarding process. The storyboarding process involves highlighting important words, concepts, and ideas in the reflection. Literally speaking, read every sentence and identify the word or phrase you think is most important. The storyboarding process will help with editing and proofing techniques, timing and pacing of the narrative, direction of what images to gather, and the recording process. As a demonstration of the storyboarding process, we will use the following sample reflection. In the first sentence of this reflection, the words, titles, or phrases that seem most important to me are Holy Family Shelter and Heart, so I will highlight these words. The process that I just went through was subjective. Perhaps you would have chosen to highlight family or engaged, and that's okay. The first part of the storyboarding process is subjective, so choose words or ideas that are important to you. Now we will look at the third sentence. Up against all odds, motivation and desire were all deemed important by the original student author. On average, students will identify one key word or phrase per sentence, but this is an example of multiple words and phrases. In the next slide, we will discuss the second step of the storyboarding process, and how identifying words and phrases will also influence the pace of the narrative. The second step in the storyboarding process is identifying when transitions will occur. The transitions will serve as a way to indicate the start of the next image in a digital story, and note where you may need to adjust the pace of your narrative, for example, pausing. I will now add transition marks to our reflection. As you can see, we added 3 dashes to represent our transition from our first highlighted word, Holy Family Shelter, to transition to our image for heart. Let's now look at the third sentence. For instance, when I read the third sentence without any transition marks, it sounds like this. When they are up against all odds, staring into the faces of their children gives them motivation and desire to keep moving. I will now add transition marks so that my narration does not lose the listener. I will now read the same sentence with the transition marks. When they are up against all odds, staring into the faces of their children gives them the motivation and desire to keep moving. After you have completed the storyboarding process, you will need to create a folder to store all of your images and music files that you will need for your digital story. You may choose to do this on a Drive account or through My Documents, but it is important that you keep all of your images and music files for your digital story in the same folder, so that you can reference them easily and keep track of your citations. I will now show you how to create a folder on My Documents.